Okay, so we'll get everybody admitted. I will get this streamed so that we can have this. It's recording this time. That's
Nice.
called progress.
Yay.
Okay. All right. And with that, let me just double check, but I think we can go ahead and get started. I'll share that where I need to share it, and then we'll go ahead and roll because we'll have a little bit of a delay here. So okay, here we go. Welcome. If you don't know who you're looking at, my name is Taryn Liker.
I'm James Liker, and you're hearing thunder outside.
Yes, we need rain. And this beautiful woman is Heidi Taphorn, and you are going to get to hear way more of her story. So we're going to dive into that in just a second. But basically, if you are seeing this, you are wanting to hear a little bit about how your health can transform, and whether you have any current struggles, frustrations, or goals, or you just want to see what life has to offer, you're in the right place. Each of us actually have been in your shoes and we wondered, like, could this be real? Is it too good to be true? But we are so glad that we decided to have an open mind and get started because it was something that completely transformed us. James and I have actually been using this line for 13 years now. We're starting our 14th. Heidi's been using it for 12 years. And so it's just something that you're going to hear a little bit more about. But why did it appeal to us in the first place? Because when we are young, we feel like we have the whole world in front of us. We feel like we are going to be invincible, and like our 18-year-old selves just feel like we're going to be able to conquer the world. Then life hits, and all of a sudden you realize you have a job that tells you when to show up, when you can take vacation, how much you're going to make. And it's like, oh, that's a little defeating. And then all those lifestyle choices that you're like, oh, I can totally get away with this. The things you eat, the things you don't work out, like all the things. It's like, oh my gosh, my parents were right. I can't be 18 forever.
Yeah, and some people figure it out a lot earlier than others. Some people get to 21 and they're like, oh my gosh. And then some can milk it till 30.
Yeah,
But eventually it catches up with everybody.
exactly. And so when we heard it didn't have to catch up to us so hard, we were like, hey, I want to listen to this. And so we are going to get into what philosophy we heard about because when you truly take care of your body, it will respond each and every time. And life can be incredible. I am 40 years old and proud to say that. You want to say your age or not? I don't care.
Well, if you said, yeah, I'm sure I'm 42. So, but I feel like I'm literally 25 because it's actually really cool because I've got more strength now than I did when I was 18, 20, 21. So it's awesome.
Exactly. And so you truly can take care of the trillions of cells that make up the human body and get the best out of it as long as you actually want to. And that's not just some secret that a few people have found. This is something that anybody can experience. And so with that, I want to get into our guest, Heidi Taphorn, to hear a little bit about where you were at in life, what was going on, what appealed to you, and what happened when you were introduced to Live Pure. So Heidi, take it away.
Well, thank you, first of all, for letting me be on here today. It's hard to believe that it's been 12 years going on year 13 and what our life was like 12 years ago. Truly, like what our life was like. We owned and operated businesses. I was mom, had 3 kids, and my middle son, he was really sick, asthma and allergies. And I just kind of thought, I was very thankful the only one of my kids struggled with that because I personally had asthma, had allergies, and it was just kind of like, hey, it's par for the course. We're gonna figure this out. And I was getting frustrated though. I was at that desperation mode. I had a new baby, Piper, so and a sick kid. And granted, Hunter was a few years older, but there was just a lot. And it was just one prescription after the next prescription, then an ear infection, then something else. And I was tired. And I thought, okay, we've got to change some things. Let's start eating better. So I was that mom that I was like, oh, we got all these little holes in our life, like with our nutrition. So I'm going to start sneaking food into ingredients into what we're eating every single day. And it got to the point where Hunter was like, okay, what's in this? What's really in this? Well, when the meatloaf turns out green, it wasn't that easy to sneak it. So I was doing it. But I got to the point where I was so desperate with Canyon that I was like, what do we have that's not a steroid. We are shoving liquid prednisone down him and it tastes nasty. But we're making him take it because, I mean, how long can you hold your breath? And so it wasn't easy, and it was hard. And I was like, there's got to be something out there. And I started looking. I mean, I was reading magazines, reading information out there, and I learned about this product called mangosteen. This fruit. I'm like, it's a fruit. Well, guess what? You can't find that fruit in Kansas. I look all over for it. I go into a health food store. They can get me a mangosteen juice, but it's from concentrate. And I'm like, no. And it was $70. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, is it going to work? I don't know if it's going to work. And I'd had it. I'd had it. I go to a friend's house, my neighbor, and in her refrigerator, there was a bottle of mangosteen. And I was just like, what? And all this stuff that I was hearing about, I'm like, I was growing my own kale. I was milling my own wheat. I was juicing it, putting it in ice cube trays, and then blending it. The time that went into that, and I wanted to be clean. And then I see that there's acai, there's mangosteen, there's all these greens products, and I'm like, the simplification of it, and it just made sense. And I was like, okay, like, not that it sounds too good to be true, but it was like, it was all right there. And it was like, now I'm getting the cleanest stuff out there. This simple, it just, I jumped all in. So I spent a lot of money. I mean, not spent a lot of money, but I was the type of person that I also thought that if I don't have one of those products, then I'm going to say that, well, it would have worked better if I'd have had this. It would have worked better if I'd have had that. I didn't know. And so I bought everything. I started taking it. I started feeling really good. But then in the back of my head, it was like some placebo effect. I'm feeling great because number one, I just spent all this money and I'm taking all these products. Is it really working for me? And when I say I felt great, I'd struggled with depression, anemia my whole life. And when I say struggle with depression, I was taking 150 milligrams of Zoloft. I don't necessarily put that out there because nobody wants to tell everybody that I'm taking 150 milligrams of Zoloft. I used to say I'm medicated, so I'm not crazy. And why? I mean, there's such a social, I don't know, plague, or I don't know what the right word is, but
Stigma.
Taboo.
There you go. So, and I listened to a nutritionist say, you're not deficient in Zoloft. And that resonated with me. Our bodies are meant to work. Our bodies, give it what it needs, and your body's going to heal itself. So this philosophy, cleanse, balance, and build, I was like, oh my gosh. And not that was, I mean, for me, that was it was okay. Like I need to give myself, like James was just saying, like it catches up with you after time, right? I drank 2 pots of coffee a day and it was mine. And that was my only stigma. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything else. Like I gave myself permission to drink coffee, and I have these younger kids. So here I am, I'm feeling better. Canyon had just came up from the hospital from one of our trips with his, strep throat, asthma, allergies, you name it, and need to keep him hydrated. Well, kid doesn't want to drink anything. He's 3, forcing him to drink. I read mangosteen as 100% pure mangosteen and Goya. So what did I do? I filled a sippy cup. I didn't pay attention to how many ounces should they get or what the recommended dosage was. I'm like, the kid needs to be hydrated. I filled the sippy cup. He drank it. And it tastes good. And I filled it again. And guess what? He started feeling better. And I mean, I'm going back 12 years right now, so I'm trying not to get choked up because he was laying on the couch and he was asleep with his mouth shut. And if you've ever had a kid that can't breathe, they don't sleep with their mouth shut. So that got me. And I started to feel, I was like, okay, it's working. It's working. And I have to share this with people. But then once again, I got the way of my own self because I was like, well, what if it doesn't work for them? We're having these great results. What if it doesn't work for them? So I just started telling people it's a philosophy. It doesn't work overnight. I've spent money on something way more stupid, probably shoes, um, because I do like shoes. And I was like, I've spent way more money on something way more stupid. And I was like, give it a chance. Take as much as you can. Do it for 90 days. Is it going to taste great? No. When we started this, I mean, Canyon and Piper, they weren't even reading yet. And Canyon called it bad juice. Bad juice. I have bad juice, in case you didn't understand that. I have videos of them taking these products when they were little, and I really can't share them because half the time my kids were in diapers or naked when they were little, saying bad juice. As I got older, Canyon says, why do we call this bad juice when it says daily build on it? When it says noni? They couldn't read though. But guess what? Every single day they poured it, they were taking it. I'm 12 years into this now. We were being called in the first couple of years to come to the doctor for their annual checkup. To say that we have not gone to the doctor is mind blowing. Granted, I mean, we're not bulletproof. I mean, something will happen every once in a while, but our kids, we don't go to the doctor. We go for our physicals. Um, and you don't how to explain that to somebody when I felt like we had I feel like we needed a frequent flyer card because we were going so much.
VIP access to the
Uh-huh.
place you want
Absolutely.
VIP access.
Um, I still remember they were excited because if we went on a certain day of the week, we got to feed the snake that was at the doctor's office.
Uh-huh.
And that's how well we knew the doctor's office. We had a wagon that we would get to ride in because that was fun. I mean, we just went for our physicals here a couple weeks ago, and I remember we used to go in that room and they had toys for us that we would play with. And I'm like, and now we are 12 years going on 13 years. And I just share this when I listen. We now have all this technology, everything that's out there, where we can, if somebody's talking about something, they don't have to be like me. They don't have to be like, I don't know what to take, what I need to buy.
Mhm.
We have all these testimonies that are out there. And I mean, I don't know what somebody's results are going to be. I don't know if they're going to take it. I feel like I have a voice, and I feel like I need to share our message because so many people are looking, so many people are being plagued, and it starts with something little and then it gets larger and larger and larger. And what if I would have shared something with them in the beginning, or what if I could have helped them? So like I said, it's been 12 years. We're going on 13. I am so grateful for what this has done for our family. Along the way, there's this community. I guess I'm remiss because I've known James and Taryn now for 12 years, and what Taryn has done and James, their family, over the years, absolutely incredible. Not only she has helped our family, but they've helped hundreds, they've helped thousands, and she has continued to share. She has continued to put the platforms out there to deliver this message. So I'll be forever thankful to both of you for how you have come alongside us in our journey as well. So in addition, I've lost the weight. I feel great. I sleep great. I just it's been amazing.
Yeah. So I will say, when you said, you go over there and his mouth is shut and he's breathing through his nose. I remember our son Channing was the same way. And it was like a fearful thing. If you ever saw their mouth shut, it's like, oh my God, they're dead.
Yeah,
Literally, because they're so peaceful, you don't see their chest like moving. Oh,
They're
my gosh. You're like,
terrified.
oh my God, they might be dead. So you literally go over there and you like shake them.
yeah.
What's going on? It's like, oh, Nick, oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Keep sleeping. Yeah.
But like, there's just some things that are normal to you that you don't realize, and you're just waiting for the shoe to drop, and you're waiting for something. So it's hard to believe. It's like, wait a minute, I've been asking all the right questions for like years. Like, we have gone in, we did everything, we did every follow-up, we didn't question the medications, like we did every single thing, and it didn't feel like we were better. And I'm not bashing in any way, shape, or form, and I know you aren't either, the medical
Mhm.
industry. It's just that what we were having issues with were not medical issues. It was a nutrition, it was a diet, it was a deficiency. There were different pieces that we didn't know to put into place that starting there would help in so
Hmm.
many ways because it was really helping the body to do its job. And so it wasn't time to try to come alongside that to fix or correct something. It was going to the root issues. And that was something that we really thought, I don't want to put words in your mouth. We thought that's what we were asking. It wasn't. And so when somebody said, actually, if you give the body what it needs, it will do its job. Because think about this, it was like, oh my gosh, the whole time,
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
made sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I like it was Dr. Foley, what was it, Wednesday night or Thursday night? How he basically said he's learned to play in both worlds. That yes, I was trained in the medical field, but now I understand the nutritional field too. And it's great to see that a lot of these practitioners
Yes.
doing that because a lot of this is, when it's small enough, you can still catch it nutritionally. Well, you're always going to catch it nutritionally no matter what. It's just how far down the road did you get? How far off did you get to where we need to introduce, the medications to stop the hemorrhaging,
What do you have to do to turn
basically?
around the
It's
ship?
it's it's like an emergency, like your arm got cut off, okay? Yeah. Well, you can't just put something on that and call it good. No, like you're gonna have to,
A daily build
yeah,
vitamin in the arm.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's the medical expert for sure.
But I know you raise cattle too, you and your husband, and I mean you see it all the time. You see all these major cattle producers. They all have one thing in common. They are supplementing their cows.
Oh, I
And
used to
they
say
don't even question it. They look at you like you're crazy. Like, what do you mean you don't have like mineral lick out there and you're not putting stuff in their feed and they're not getting a daily ration. And I mean, they look at you like you're crazy. Like you're raising, if you do and you're not giving your cattle this, they look at you like, what kind of cow? Like you're raising an inferior cow. Like it's nutrient deficient. It's not going to produce good meat. It's not healthy for someone to consume. But we look at it in the human world and we go, oh
Don't
no,
need
you
any.
don't need anything. Like you're good.
you're fine. The whole, I would say, hey, who's your nutritionist, for your cows? And they could always tell me who they, hey, we're using so and so, da da da. It's like, well, who's your guys' family nutritionist? It just, what do you mean? I mean, how much do you spend per head per day on your supplements?
Do you want to know?
And
I mean, I actually know that, God. I do.
but I'm saying, when
Want
you're
to
in
know?
the world, that is a very, I want to know how much that's going to cost per head per day.
Yeah.
Well, what is
Yeah.
your cost per head per day? And like, it was a whole different, I mean, it's just a whole different mindset because you're going to pay for an ounce of prevention as a pound of cure.
Yeah.
And that just really hit with me. Let's start now. Let's start when we're healthy. Let's start, you know,
Yeah. Let's not even let it get to
right.
stage. Let's just stay where everybody's healthy. And if you have to go to the doctor, people literally will call you and say, "Oh my God, I heard you're at the doctor's office. Are you okay?" Let's get to that point, not, "Oh yeah, you got another doctor's appointment this week? Cool."
Right.
Awesome. Well, we will get into, so thank you so much for sharing your story. We are going to get into, so what does this mean? What does this look like? So if you are sitting there thinking, okay, my family is in this position where I have no energy, I'm not sleeping well. If your kids are sick, if any of this is like, wait a minute, you're speaking to the choir here, we're going to get into how that can help. So Heidi, thank you so much for sharing your
Yeah.
story. We'll get into the slides, and then if you want to share at the end, please just let me know. And then I appreciate you so very much. All right, so I will. It's okay. So unpin. There we go. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get these slides shared so you can see
So
this.
glad you're doing this because if I was
Yeah,
doing this, it'd be a hot mess.
this is
I'm
watching.
not a
I'm just
technology person anymore. I've weaned away.
weaned away from that. Okay, so basically, you got to hear from Heidi Taphorn on her story. And so I'll get to single pages here. Okay. So Lip here is the company that we all found, and it was their philosophy of cleanse, balance, build that made so much sense. But how did this start? Well, our founder, Daegun Jung, was extremely successful in Asia, and he was in the network marketing industry. He had a vision to basically bring a global company to the world, and he wanted it to be a US based company. And what he saw was the biggest need because when you help other people fill the gaps in their life, that's where you can be very successful. When you help people get what they want, you will have everything you want more. And so he was going through the LA airport, and what he realized is that people were really lacking that quality of life. They had no energy, they were snapping at each other, there was just no vibrancy in their lives anymore. And so, what he wanted to do was bring the philosophy of cleanse, balance, and build not only to the US, but then take it globally. And so, back in 2008, he started that company and it quickly went global. It is in Korea and several other countries around the world. But what I really loved, and Heidi can appreciate this too, so many times we find something and then all of a sudden it's gone because a lot of these companies don't make it. But this one has actually been debt free since day one. They don't even owe their investors
Yeah.
anything.
And that's the number one thing. That's why most of them go under. They
They,
started out in debt.
right.
Yeah.
And even if they say, oh, we're not in debt, but they probably owe their investors. And so at some point, those investors are going to want that money back. And so it's just something that it's like, okay, we knew that we could have the faith that this was going to be around, which, gave us a whole new sense of security. But the reason why Cleanse, Balance, Build as a philosophy was so big for him is he knew of a nutrition clinic that was in the California area that there was a A-list celebrity of celebrities
Yeah.
waiting list for people to get in. And why it was so important for them to get in is because people went in sick or had any struggle, any frustration, any goal, and they were leaving well. And so, what that came down to is that clinic honed in on the philosophy that is truly backed by science and doesn't need to change. Cleanse the body, balance the body, and build the body. And when you do that, the body will absolutely respond. And so the other day we were talking about when something is not the way it needs to be, one of the hardest processes is actually demolition
Mm-hmm.
and breaking
Yep.
down. It takes twice as much to demo
Yeah, twice as much energy, twice as much cost. Actually, sometimes more than twice as much cost to
and
get
then
there.
and then you get things cleared out, ready, and then you do what?
Well, so if it's me, because I actually have a construction company, so we go in, we demo, we clean
Mhm.
it up. Okay, so it's an old house, maybe from the 1940s. You got to see what's back there. You don't know what's behind the walls. So you have to clean it. Well, then we find there's certain things wrong with it before we can rebuild that room.
Mhm.
So literally, that's the part of the balance that we
Yep.
have to do. We have to fix studding in the wall. We have to fix wiring in the wall. We have to fix all this other stuff in the wall before we can close it back up and then build what they want them to do. But so many times where people fail is they want to clean it. So they hear of, well, I'll just do a detox and then I'm going to build everything back up. Well, they forgot the whole balance part, which is the let's take care of everything, get everything where it should be, fix it as it should be, and then we can build on top of it. Because I know I'm a guy. Most guys are like me. They want to just build muscle. So they don't ever look at the whole, okay, well, we'll clean it. I'm going to give it like 3 days to clean, and then I'm going to build a bunch of muscle. And then it fails, then they build muscle, but then they fail 4, 6, 8, 10 weeks later because they forgot to balance the whole process.
And so that's what that clinic was doing extremely well. And so when you have been on a wait list for 2 to 3 years, guess what you don't do? You don't question their methods. You just follow their
No,
lead.
you're happy to get in.
Exactly. And so they truly saw results because they understood that there was something more powerful to this. And so you shouldn't have to be on a 3 year waiting list, be a celebrity, know the right people. This should be accessible for everybody because we all have a human body and we want to get the most out of life. And so that's exactly why they brought this philosophy and the products that were pure, potent, and practical into the market. And what I love is that you can see how true our products are in all the certifications that we have.
Mhm.
And we now have over 400 medical professionals that endorse this because they do understand there's the medical side and there's also the nutrition side. And when we can truly help the patient overall to not only get their health, maintain their health, it's extremely powerful.
Well, to be in that PDR, that I know for me as a scientist, that kind of says everything because that means, yes, you are legit. You have the research to back it up. It does give you the results that it says it's going to do.
Mhm. Exactly. And so that's where, and even sports in our athletes, they test every single batch. So there are other certifications, but they'll just do a spot check here and there. It's much cheaper to do that.
Right, once or
However,
twice a year.
exactly, we really do go above and beyond to show what it is that we have, which is not very heard of. So that philosophy that we keep talking about is to cleanse, balance, and build. So you break down what does not belong. So when your body is stagnant, you are going to have things that come up that are just frustrating. So what we make sure that we do is we help your body so that it can absorb more of the good things that you're
Mhm.
doing and release more of the things that have overwhelmed it and that are stagnant. So that is our cleanse, and it comes in two different forms. You don't have to take both of those.
I just want to say from a what happened last week with Walmart and radioactive shrimp.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought that?
No.
So we actually have no clue what we're eating. If you're buying from, halfway around the world or all the way around the world, because who would have ever thought to test shrimp for radioactive materials? So if we're not talking cleanse now, I don't know when you're going to do it because you're going to be glowing.
You may not want to glow. Well, and you don't know where your food's being sourced from. We raise a lot of our own meat, but when we buy shrimp, we actually pay attention now, where before we never would
Yeah, I
have.
don't know if I would actually let's let this one settle down first before we go buy more
Nobody's
shrimp.
buying shrimp that's
Because I'm
made.
sure Walmart's not the only vendor that was buying from them.
And so, but you don't know what you are or aren't exposed to. So that cleanse can help in a gentle, safe way on a regular basis, help to eliminate what's overwhelming your body. And this is not just one of those that'll put you in the bathroom the whole time. What it is the liver, the colon, the lungs, lymphatic system, kidneys, bloodstream, and the skin, so that your body truly is releasing from any of those pathways that can be overwhelmed. And that was something that we even utilized with our children. Smaller amounts went a long way, and they have not had to,
Mhm.
weather the storms that we did. The Goyen is our balancer. So we balance the mood, the hormones, and the pH. So that's going to help your energy levels. That's going to help with your lab work, your endocrine system. There's so many things that can balance out there, which is just incredible. This is a formula that had been used for thousands of years in Asia that we just brought over to the US. And so people noticed that their moods were calmer, they were more balanced, everything was just a little bit more even keeled, not numb. There's a difference between numb and subsiding or, suppressing
Uh-huh.
moods and actually being able to have them in balance.
Yeah, heightened and alive. You actually become alive.
Well, and that was one of the things,
You're
Heidi,
smiling.
smiling, happy, ready to start the day. Not everybody like scatters as soon as you hit the floor in the morning because they're like
They're
terrified.
more like, whoa, what's going on here? They're like being really nice. Yeah.
And that was my family. So Heidi wasn't the only one that struggled with depression. I'd battled it for, 13, 14 years, didn't like who I was as an adult on or off medications. I was either numb and unable to feel or a complete mess. And I'll never forget being able to drop my daughter off to, school and actually cry a happy tear, and that was okay. It didn't mean that I was volatile. It just meant I was having a moment that I actually got to appreciate that. And it was okay. And it was just so beautiful. And, for my husband to actually want to walk in the room and say, "Hey, how's it
Yeah, instead of
going?"
tiptoe, when you have an old house and you have wood floors, you get squeaky spots in those floors, and you know exactly where all of them are too.
To be terrified that if he started talking to me that I was going to snap or whine or complain or just, be this awful negative person where he's like, "Glad we had that talk."
I just know your schedule. Know when you're here and when you're here.
He was more excited to walk in the rooms I was in instead of avoid them. And that was a big win for a whole lot of areas. Daily Build is our multivitamin. And so you can just get the entire buffet of what your body needs. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to second guess it. Just by taking that 1 ounce or those capsules daily, your body has what it needs and it can pick and choose and it will get rid of anything it doesn't need. So that being water soluble means you're not going to overdo anything and you can have the confidence that you got what you needed.
Mhm.
And that was something that a lot of our doctors say they cannot believe how comprehensive that vitamin is and how effective it is.
When you feel it within
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes. I mean, I hate to say it, but I, experiment a little bit with this stuff still these days. And you can go through the drive-through and you feel like junk 30 minutes later. And the craziest thing is if you take the daily build, then 20 to 30 minutes after that, you perk back up because you come alive because all the fast food is so nutrient deficient because it's over processed. This puts the nutrients back in. So you're craving the fats in there and everything else. You're craving the brain high.
The emotion.
Yeah, with the fast food, but what your body actually is craving is the nutrition part of it.
Mhm. So it helps to subsidize those things that when we don't make the best of decisions, and we're not perfect, 13 years later, like we're just not. We are still human. We still make decisions that we shouldn't. But at the end of the day, we know that we can make some decisions that are really great for us and balance that out. And I don't want to fight him and be like, why did you eat that? Like, I don't want to be his mom and I don't want to nag him. And so at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, I'm not even going to talk about what you just did, but here's your daily bill. So, like, it can save a lot of arguments. So, it's just beautiful in that way. And last but not least, the calcium. So, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin K, when those are together, your body actually can absorb and utilize those minerals. So many times people are deficient in those, but they will go get just a single vitamin and they wonder why it doesn't work. Well, your body is meant to get things from nature, which is a formula. God had formulas. He didn't make a vitamin D plant.
Yeah.
He didn't make
Or
a
here's your nitrogen plant, here's your phosphorus, here's your sulfur plant, here's your potassium plant, here's your magnesium, manganese. It's just like, no.
when you look at
There,
spinach, it has all of
yeah.
them. Not all, but like
Well,
it has the
it
complex,
used to have them.
right?
We've overfarmed that one.
So, in order to fill in the gaps of what is no longer in our food, to overcome what it is that we're doing, this really helps to get that strong, solid foundation of cleanse, balance, and build and know that you are set. Calcium is one of those that was really big for our children because when they are growing their muscle mass, they are growing their bones, and we could tell when they needed more than what they were getting because they would have moodiness, their bowels would be off, they'd be a little bit more constipated. They weren't sleeping as well. They'd wake up with some night terrors, bad dreams. So we could always tell when they were going through a growth spurt that their body needed just a little bit more of that. And so it was so nice to know, hey, my kid's not just having this horrible month. It's, oh, I know what this is. Their bodies needing a little more than what they're getting. And so we've had friends that had 2-year-olds that ruled that house. And like when that 2-year-old's emotions got into play, everyone was off. And they could not believe how much just taking that little bit daily affected the whole house's calm. Because if a 2-year-old's not happy, nobody is happy.
Yeah, and then you can't have people over because then they feel uncomfortable.
Oh my
I feel
gosh.
uncomfortable when I'm in someone's house and the 2-year-old's running. I think I gotta go.
And so it was really nice to know how people can utilize these tools. And so that's our cleanse, balance, build foundation. But how people often ask, okay, I hear what you're saying, but how do I know what my body needs? Well, your body is absolutely designed to be perfect at all times. And so its only job is to actually keep you alive and well, and it wants you to have vibrant health. So when you're not experiencing that, that means it is telling you it's needing a little love and it's been needing it for a certain amount of time. We don't know how to hear what the body is telling us. And so these are the first signs that it gives us: poor sleep, poor digestion, stubborn weight accumulating, poor energy. So, like when you wake up, you're not ready to start the day, it's hard to keep going throughout the day. Like, Heidi said, the 2 pots of coffee, always looking for that next high. And then, the worst part of it is usually when your energy is off, you're looking for the highs all day and then you can't sleep. And now you're looking for something to settle you down at night.
Yeah, and you spend $2,500 on a mattress.
Right. And it's not the mattress. And then you're like, wait a minute, I really like the old one. So now you have some more aches and pains.
Yeah, your bank account does, that's for
Your
sure.
bank account does, you do. And it's like, what is the answer? Then you're moody. Then you're, avoiding your spouse. That affects your relationships. That affects your family. And those are just the first alerts. Well, your body will then start to have more of them because you didn't pay attention. So it kind of silences those a little bit because you tried to band-aid them. Well, you'll notice you're more puffy or inflamed. You'll have those allergies because your body is in a constant state of unrest. You'll start to see different things in your blood work. Heidi and I both, when we looked at this, worked in insurance. It was amazing to me how many people were young, but their blood work came back as uninsurable or higher rates than I ever would have guessed. And that was one huge win that we saved a lot of money.
Yeah, I would always thought as soon as you went in, if you got a life insurance policy, go in at age 18 because there's nothing wrong with you. And you're guaranteed to get the best rate forever at the lowest price. And yeah, now at 18, you're looking at it and going,
Whoa.
this kid is not healthy.
We were ahead of the game, but the cool thing is we actually got the higher premiums and were able to redo that. So that was a big win when we started this. Skin issues, poor hair, skin, and nails, constipation, women, irregular cycles, having a lot of PMS. PMS is actually something we're not supposed to have, but we feel like it's just the norm. Well, that's actually a liver saying, I need a lot of extra help. When somebody's really sensitive to smells, like when you walk by the potpourri aisle in a, store, if that immediately gives you a headache, that's telling you your liver is actually overloaded and it needs a little bit of love. So there's signs if we know how to actually read them. Brain fog is another one where you find your keys in the freezer, the remote is put in with the baby toys and they didn't do it, it was you.
Taken upstairs and put
Right.
in your clothes
Like, why am I finding this in my
next to the
underwear drawer?
toilet or something. I don't know.
So these are those moments. And when you ignore those, then that's when you get the diagnosis. That's when we're starting to see that our systems are acting up to a point where there's an official diagnosis. Then we're in with a specialist. Then we've got more medications. And at the end of the day, all our body was saying, I'm just struggling. I am overwhelmed. I'm out of balance and I am running on fumes. If you can help me with fuel, if you can help me balance out, and if you will help me get rid of what it is that we've accumulated and stop throwing this at me, I can really do a lot of this on my own. But that's not what we understand it saying. And so we're walking around wounded. We're walking around living life at a fraction of what we're actually supposed to be experiencing. And so that's where that cleanse, balance, build foundation comes into play. And that's where when people ask, where should I get started? Well, step one is going to be on that core foundation because I really don't care what you want. Your body is telling you what it needs. We don't get to wants and luxuries until you have your necessities: food, clothing, shelter,
Mhm.
right? So this is the food, clothing, and shelter, so to speak, for your body. And if you will actually honor it by not trying to force it to do more because you want it, it's going to be in a better state. So that's where we really encourage people to start. And that's a great bundle discount pack so that you can really have your health for less than that $5 a day. Then what I suggest is, okay, if your body's only in the alerts or warnings, so go on the core and you're going to see a tremendous benefit within that first 28 days. But then pick a couple of things based on the budget or based on your goals that you can add that are heat seeking missiles. So, for example, On Track was one of my main ones. On Track helped me to block the sugar that I was consuming and the carbs, which then allowed my body to go into fat burning mode. So it started to burn my stored fat. And then when your body's in fat burning mode, it can't go into fat storage mode. So I was actually able to drop a significant amount of pounds that had accumulated, and it was in a detoxing way. So I was actually getting rid of a lot of those toxins that had accumulated very well too. And so within the first 6 months, I was actually able to drop 54 pounds. And 13 years later, I was able to keep it off because that's a tool that can help you undo the bad patterns that you've done. I still use it today, as maintenance. So last night, our daughter wanted chicken fried steak for her birthday.
Chicken fried chicken.
Chicken fried chicken for them,
We
chicken
found
fried
out the
steak for
chicken
me.
fried chicken was better than the chicken fried steak.
So that was something that I used strategically. I'm not going to say no, but I'm also not eating chicken fried steak 3 meals a day every single day of the
Right.
week. And so it's about strategy. It's not about being perfect. It's about understanding how to get the best and just actually enjoy life. So Metabolic Max helps to boost that metabolism, really supporting your overall body. The Aqualine is making sure that your mitochondria are getting fed properly, using that fat as fuel, and that your cellular process for your energy, for your cellular reproduction, for fat burning is on point, your metabolism. And so that helps from the very root. Tastes amazing too, and it's a really pretty color.
Hmm. Now I want one. I know in this one, so we haven't talked about it much, but the slimming coffee,
Yeah.
that stuff's amazing. It's not just a slimming coffee because it's got thermogenics in it. So yeah, it has the appetite inhibitor in it. It also has what the on track has, which is the chlorogenic acid in it, which basically then tells your body, okay, I'm going to stop the enzyme that stops or that has basically cuts your sugars, sends it to the body. We're just going to flush that. And so now we have to use your fat because we're not allowed to actually break down the sugars. So we're just flushing them. But the coolest thing that thing had in it and still has in it is the thermogenic because what happens when you get sick? You raise your body temperature. So if you can do that every day for 20 to 30 minutes, and it's the coolest effect because you drink it and here you start, it's almost like you start sweating But I remember taking that, and for years, I never got sick because every single day, if there was something in the system, it literally just would raise that body, that core temperature just a little bit and burn it out like a
It
furnace.
was a daily furnace for you.
It was. So if you're one of those people that get sick all the time, might be worth looking into.
And so basically, what I'm saying is step one, start with the core, then go to the core with your goals if you're ready to do that. If there's something very specific, you can go to your targeted needs. So if you want to improve your vision, there's the vision one. NeuroBoost really supports the brain. So many times today we hear about ADD, ADHD, autism, Alzheimer's. All of that is that saying that the brain is the weak link. So we are only as strong as our weak link because when we do get nutrients into our system, then our body is going to deliver them. Well, the strong are going to take first. It's not going to be nice and make sure there's room and leftovers for everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
So what you have to
It's
do is
kind of selfish.
big time. So you have
Very
to
selfish.
cross that threshold to make sure that you've got enough, not only for the strong, but for the weak to have some as well. And that's where if you have some of those heat-seeking missiles of what they like, and that you're giving your body the base of enough of what it needs, that's where you start to see these changes really significantly. And so we've got an additional daily detox that helps to cleanse those seven channels in another way. We have our immune six, which helps to boost your overall immune system. Pure Excel is really great for the liver and the glutathione. The probiotic in me, that really helps with your gut health because your gut health is your brain health and it's
Hmm.
mom. Like if your gut's unhappy, everything is going to be off. And so making sure that good gut bacteria stays in balance is going to be key. Well, the probiotic is just that. And then the me actually has collagen with the probiotic. And so you can get the benefits of both of those worlds. The focus is great for your adrenal glands to really just give you that win when it comes to brain fog, to give you physical, mental alertness and focus is really what it does.
And that's an energy balancer because if you're low on energy, it fills the adrenal glands back up. That gives you the natural energy back. But if you're high strung, which we found out what 2 to 3% of the population is, it actually brings those levels back down
Mhm.
and balances them out.
So that you're not just on edge. And what I like about these is really everything you're seeing over here is really just food. And so
Hmm.
this is helping instead of trying to get what you need from the grocery store, just make sure that you're getting good quality food. The shakes can be a meal replacement or just a great addition to make sure that your body's getting what it needs in an easy to digest form. The greens, this guy is not somebody that's craving broccoli and
No,
cucumbers.
no, meat and potatoes type guy. Meat and potatoes.
And so making sure that he just gets that scoop of greens is more than I could ever get in his body in a week, let alone for that one scoop.
Yeah, the plant guy doesn't eat plants.
No.
Yeah.
Also, I use the beauty berry, great for hair, skin, and nails. Goji is the happy berry, great for libido, blood pressure, triglycerides, cholesterols, help with all the glands, endocrine system. The mangosteen is the one that Heidi talked about, was the game changer. Really high in xanthones, which is like an antioxidant, which means your body is going to be able to combat a lot of what life throws at it. So it's anti-inflammatory, antihistamine, antiviral. So when you're sick, that's why it was so powerful in that sippy cup. And that one's just a
Yeah,
really,
and a super dose too. Like, wow.
yeah.
That's
But again, it's just food. And so
yeah.
you're not overdoing
No,
it.
you can't. I've never heard of anybody overdose on strawberries.
It's, I mean, it's a big deal.
I mean, it might get a little diarrhea, but geez.
I could
Yeah,
overdose
it's
from
all
just
food.
have some things cleansing out.
Yes.
Noni is on the digestive bitter, so that one is antiviral, antifungal, antihistamine as well. A lot of great benefits for digestion. So start to finish digestion, and then fusion is great for travel because it has a little bit of each of them. But most people prefer, if they're going to take the superfruits, to have each of them on hand so that they can adjust daily
Mhm.
what that looks like. And then there's some great bundle savings to where you can actually
Well,
get
and you
those.
you put it perfect all the time. This is basically just a toolbox.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have multiple tools in this big toolbox, but you're going to use certain tools more than the other based on season, based on day of the week,
Yeah.
based on how you're feeling and all that. But to have all the tools and know that, yeah, I can fix anything. I can fix 99% of my problems, my health problems with this toolkit.
Yep. And our kids are trained to do the same thing. I know Heidi's are the same. Like we basically evaluate what's going on, and then we have a goal every 90 days of what we want to do with our body, but then we ebb and flow to where somebody might have a really busy week and we know what we need to do. We fuel more, we give it a lot more love. Then there's some weeks that life isn't challenging us, so we challenge our body a little bit. And so you can ebb and flow in this. But the sports line pre, during, and post
Mhm.
workout, really huge tools. And even for those that are not athletes, like I start every single morning with the Energize and Circulate and Sulfur. And I know James starts with Energize and the Sulfur.
Yeah, every day since 2016. Haven't missed a single day and been able to maintain muscle mass because that Energize has a what is it? It stops the body from breaking down the muscle tissue
Mhm.
first. Because your body naturally wants to break down the muscle tissue before the fat. That's why you see everybody gain the pounds in fat and not muscle. I would love to see it if it was the other way. Like, darn it, I gained all this muscle and now I have no fat.
Well, and that's where
Muscle
Aqua,
sparing, that's what it is. It has muscle sparing components.
and the Aqualine really helped to build that lean muscle mass, especially after that 6 month mark, because we saw it in our daughter. She's like chiseling
Oh yeah, no
right down.
fat. Had the teardrop in the quad right there. I was
A
like,
little
son
jealous.
of a gun.
So he's a little jealous of her
I was
results.
like, I'm not even gonna try to compete with that anymore because she is literally like 4 months ahead of me at this
She's
point in
winning.
time. Yeah, like
He's not better.
what?
I said, you're not better.
Not bitter.
Oh, you want to talk about sulfur?
Um, yeah, so basically organic sulfur. So sulfur is supposed to be actually the fourth most abundant nutrient or mineral in the body. But basically, we as farmers, and we used to farm too. Channing still helps, and Reese's boyfriend farms as well. But yeah, once we switched to manure or switched from manure to petroleum-based fertilizers, we took the sulfur out of the cycle. And so if you're familiar with biology, science, or anything, there's this thing called the nutrient cycle. And so these nutrients just keep cycling and cycling and cycling, and it goes from organism to organism to organism. So soil, plant, organism, which might be a cow, and we would eat the cow, and then basically, we excrete, they excrete, it goes back into the soil, and it just keeps going. Well, what we did is we basically started putting all this sewage and everything and cattle manure, and we took it and we basically didn't put it back on the fields.
Hmm.
And so we lost that complete cycle. And so that's why actually you see some of your environmental crashes too. And why you're seeing the nutrient deficiencies in your animals that you raise as well, is we actually removed that cycle. So to not have sulfur in your diet is a big thing with joints, allergies, the brain, skin.
Nervous system.
Oh, nervous system is a
What
huge
makes up the
one.
myelin sheath?
Big component there, the lubrication in your joints. And
Cellular
so when
reproduction.
people are 25 years old and they're saying, man, my joints are bad. Well, there's a couple things going on there. One of them is you're not getting sulfur, but you're probably drinking the wrong type of drinks.
Yeah, probably more acidic. So, and then our skincare. So many hormone disruptors are in our health and beauty products. And so not only do we want something that works, but we want something that's clean. And our Korean beauty line is incredible in how it produces results. And so it just balances, cleanses, balances, and builds the skin. And so that's where it's just going to really regenerate that youthful glow. And so that one is a clean line that you can be proud of. And then also, it's so important as to what is not in your skincare. And so this is the comprehensive line,
Yeah,
which
I
is
didn't even know that until I found out. And then you'd come yesterday, what did we spring? Or not yesterday, last week, we just brought something in. And you're like, yeah, it doesn't have this, this, and this. And I go, is it supposed to? Like, why put this stuff in if it doesn't need to be in there and it actually harms you? But that's a lot of stuff in the Western world.
James got a 101 on
Yeah.
women's beauty products, some of the things. But so now you can see why Heidi and why we did as well. When we understood the concept and we knew it was going to work, we knew there was a 30-day money back guarantee. We decided, I want to try the whole line. I want to see, touch, taste, and experience to see what this toolkit can do. And I knew there were going to be some things that I wasn't going to order again, but I wanted to find my favorites. I wanted to see what worked for the kids. I wanted to see what worked for me. I wanted to see what James's favorites were. And you can ebb and flow in that, but they have some really great bundles that you can get the whole line right away so that you can truly experience that. But either way, whether you're just wanting to start with that core foundation, whether you're aiming for your goals, or you have very specific needs, just pay attention to giving yourself enough so that your body actually can start to cross the threshold of having enough to deliver on your results. And so And however you start is the best. So when people look at this, they usually are in one of four different camps. Number one, they're saying this isn't for me, but thanks so much for showing me. Thanks for looking. But some people are saying, okay, I want this for myself. You want to feel better. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You've tried everything and you just want something that works. Well, that would be the customer path that's going to be the best for you. You get a free account, you get 25% off right away, no minimum orders, and you're eligible for savings and rewards. Some people are looking at this as a brand partner path. This is the right fit for you if you are saying, not only do I want this, but I have people that I wish just saw this. I know my friend needs to hear about this. This could help my mom. This could help my aunt. This could help my coworker. This could help my friend. Somebody was just looking for a solution with this. So, like, somebody would have been like, oh my gosh, Heidi's been looking for a solution for Katie and his allergies. So, sometimes people are thinking about how other people need this. Well, you're probably more the brand partner path. So, what I would suggest is signing up to have an income eligible account, which is the brand partner. It's $49 one time. That sets up your account, all your websites and everything. You get 25% off that retail price as well. And it's only 100 PV to be eligible for income. So we can go over that in a minute, but that's roughly $150 to $175. Then there's the team leader path. If you're like, whoa, this is big, I see that people want to join this movement, you see the trends and you understand how big this market share is, and you know people that would want to get this in front of their people. So people that want something real that allows them time freedom, financial freedom, and to be a part of something to make a difference, benefits are the same as that brand partner. You're getting that $49 setup, 25% off retail. That income eligibility is again at that $150 to $175. You're eligible to earn commissions and eligible for savings and rewards and trips. So if you're looking at the customer path, I highly suggest getting back with the person that invited you to look at this. They can go over your struggles, frustrations, and goals. And we have packages that will help you with your budget and your goals to feel confident that you can see exactly what this can do for you. Same with the brand partner. You can either start with a bundle so that you get to see, touch, taste, and experience. Because I, quite frankly, don't want the advice of somebody at a restaurant that's not tried the menu. And so, true professionals know their line and know what to fit people into as far as their needs go. The company is extremely generous with their customer referral program. And so, our customer reward program gives you up to 50% commission, and you have an entire month to do that. So if you were to sell roughly $2,500 worth of products, or people were to buy that from their own account that you happen to enroll, you would be making $1,000. And this actually is something that we're seeing a lot with social media, people just sharing what they love, not in a salesy way, not, hey, I have a 10% special, not that kind of thing, but just sharing what you've seen. That's where we've seen some significant um, earnings. So our daughter is one of them. She just turned 21 today, but she listens to her clients each and every day. She has her own makeup line and she is a cosmetologist. And so just listening to people's needs in the chair, she's been able to earn $1,000 a month by connecting them with what they need and helping them get the most out of those products. The team leader path, this is where you know you're going to show a few, show a few, show a few. And that was crazy. We lived in a small town in Hayes, Kansas. It's 22,000 people, but we actually have a global team. And so I didn't know people in these other countries, but you'll be surprised at how many people you know that know somebody in another county, in another state, in another area. And social media has just expanded that. And so,
And you know people all over the world now.
yeah.
You get friend requests all the time. Now some of them are from India, and like scammers, but then you're like, oh wait, how does this person know me? And then you click on their like friends, and then you're like, wait a minute, they know these five people. Okay, this is safe, and then you start connecting with them.
So if you're really wanting to be a team leader, I would highly look at some of those bundles to make sure that you experience the entire line so that you have that. But again, just get back with the person that invited you to look at this. They can show you the different bundles available. And then you're eligible to earn those trips in either one of those capacities. So
Yeah, and if you
Cancun,
like trips, Pure does them right.
yeah.
I mean, they are all 5 star. They are all amazing food. They plan out your days. They put you in the best hotels. Like you don't have to worry about a thing with them because everything is taken care of. You just literally have to get to the airport and get there.
And the neat thing is, we always dreamed of traveling, but never thought that that was really a reality. We got a passport for our honeymoon and we had never used it again. So it's like that one and done.
Oh, we thought we had made it to where we
Yes.
went, and then we showed up. What was it? Was it 10 years later with Pure? And we realized like we spent our honeymoon in the ghettos of Paris. We were literally in the ghettos. We were like, let's go see our own hotel. And we were
Just
there for
five
like,
minutes in
yeah,
love.
we like peeked our heads out of the subway. We're like, oh, we need to get out of
Shouldn't
here.
be here.
Yeah. Oh man, life and perception changes everything, or not perception, experience changes everything in life.
But we've been able to be in 6 of the 7 continents now, because of these trips. And so it just gives you more opportunities if you're open to them. And so, no matter what path is right for you, thank you so much for taking the time. There's the customer path, brand partner path, team leader path. Go ahead and visit and reach out to the person that invited you to look at this. Let them know what you're thinking, and they will guide you down the right path for you, not their agenda, just honoring where you're at. You can decide which path. Then we will go ahead and get you started on the right products as well as the approach. And then we'll get everything set up, and it should be in your mailbox within the next 3 to 4 days. And I can't wait to hear your stories. So, with that, Heidi, you good to go, or is there anything else you want to share?
I just want to just wrap this up in saying that I didn't share that after 12 years, our household has been completely medication free. Canyon hasn't been on any allergy, asthma medications. I haven't been on any antidepressants. And I just wanted to say thank you to Taryn and James for continuing to share your story. If you're searching like I was, I just want to let you know there's hope. There really is. There's a community here that's willing to help you. My story started because I was searching. So there's a reason why you're watching this. And if you want help, we're here to help you because my story is still being written. Our stories are being written every single day, but they're being written with hope. So thank you, Taryn and James, and thank you for this opportunity to continue to share this story.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing. And with that, we will wrap it up. Cheers, everyone.